was clearly sick, he was confused, he wasn't able to communicate, and it turns out he had a stroke. And then it got complicated because we didn't know where he was from, we didn't know why he was where he was, how he'd gotten there, and he had his son with him who, because of his disability, couldn't tell us anything about that either.
My dad was the sole caregiver for my brother, who is handicapped and developmentally disabled. And so my mother passed away in 2001, so it's kind of just been my dad and my brother the whole time. So when they arrived at the hospital, you know, because I wasn't here and there were no other family members to take care of my brother, he was just sort of hanging out in the hospital room with my dad.
And I called upstairs and told it was Dr. White who was on. I said, Kevin, we need to admit this patient and we're gonna have to admit his son also. And Kevin asked why, and I said, well, his son, he has nowhere to go. And they said, well, we need to make sure it's okay. So I called Bob Stevens, our CEO.
He said, I have an elderly gentleman who had a stroke, was brought in by ambulance. And he said, that's not what's unique here. What's unique is he's with his adult son who has special needs. And Bruce said, I can tell that he's very attached to his dad. I said, Bruce, what are you asking for? He said, well, I'm going to have to admit the dad upstairs. And can we do some kind of social admission? And I said, absolutely. Let's make sure we take care of the family here.
So we get them both in the same room, I get them admitted, and once I meet them and see Steve's personality and Doug's personality, I realize that they have to be together. At this time, Steve is mirroring everything that Doug does. He's whatever Doug says he's saying. And we have bigger problems at this time. No one knows they're here, they're away from home, they have traveled a good distance.
As it turns out, the daughter and sister lived in North Carolina, Ann, and couldn't get there for a few days.
So we're Googling, I'm kind of searching on, I think I even at one point went on Facebook trying to search for your name, trying to use those type of means, but still couldn't find you.
The whole experience of when he was admitted was just amazing, because everyone from sort of the nursing assistants on up through the physician, the social work staff, everybody was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It turns out that the son never left his dad's side. His dad was in for 5 days. I can tell you that many times when I walked past the room or walked in the room, the son was holding his dad's hand.
When my dad came here, he didn't have any health coverage, and so the fact that he was cared for in spite of the fact that he had no coverage or ability to pay, and able to stay for as long as he was, there just aren't any words to sort of say, you know, enough thanks about that. Everybody just went above and beyond to really take care of both of them.